Good evening, it's Norma Cowie here, and it's Monday night. And on Monday nights, we do mental mind treatments. I have a list of people who have got hold of me, and but know that you're very, very welcome for the next short while. Oh, that's a fly in here. We have beautiful weather where I am here right now, just warm and clear, and sometimes we have had a little bit of rain, but not much. Mostly it's very warm. But anyway, I guess I'll have to deal with the fly a little later. Fly in the works, as they say. There it is, wanting to go out, but my door is closed. Anyhow, here we are. And as I said, mental mind treatment is beginning to start very shortly. And I look forward to having some in real time because it's what I expected to do. I mean, it's makes it easier for everyone if there's somebody live. I think for me, I like the liveness. That's what I wanted to do, and I truly welcome you to whatever it is that you would like a prayer for. Now, I was thinking the other day about my prayer work, and it's always this clearing I have to do in the beginning, and I thought I have it all cleared, but I obviously don't. Is that and I've had some people who I studied with, and one of the things they say to me is that what you do is very different in a way from what we learned. And I understand that because my sometimes, not every time, but the psychic where information comes through, and sometimes it's very different and very strange, but it's there. And then it's whether people follow it or not. That's their choice, their awareness, their knowingness. Um, oh, I just see Laurie Brayley says, hello, Norma. Hi. Hi. And I want to thank you for your comments, Laurie. I really, really appreciate them. And sometimes I don't always get back and say hi or whatever, but I appreciate them. Kayla, also, hi to you too as well. It's always nice to have know that there is a live audience as I continue. But have several that have emailed in and texted into me with what they want to have. I'm just going to ramble on a little bit because it was my birthday weekend this weekend, and now I am a whole year older than I was a few days ago, and I feel the same. I feel quite well. Actually, I feel quite good about what's happening, what's going on, and where I'm going. Today, I was at the doctor's office because they were taking out some stitches in my leg. That it was a cancerous growth, and so it's a little sore. And he said to tape it up to make sure because they cut sideways rather than lengthwise. But anyway, it's all gone. Apparently, all the whatever you need when they do this. Being raised in a tropical country, I should say. I spent a lot of time outside, and we didn't know about sunscreen in those days, and so consequently, I've had already several things removed from my body, and this one I didn't like the look of it. Went to the doctors. In fact, I didn't like the look of it when it arrived 3 years ago. But they didn't seem to pay too much attention to that. And I can't take it out by myself. So this time I went back to the doctors and said, I don't like the look of this thing at all. Anyway, they took it out, and sure enough, it was cancerous. And but they got it all. So, but they're going to keep an eye on it. The doctor said, keep an eye on it and see how that all works. Okay, it's time for me to quit going. I was hoping to clear this throat totally because it was fine all day until I sit down here. And then it's almost like I got this frog back here from my sinuses. Okay, Karen Lee. Let me see. I'm sorry, it's just Karen. It's not Karen Lee. Karen, happy birthday. Thank you. I would love a treatment for feeling more connected to my inner spark. Oh, I like that one. Inner spark. Okay. For those of you that have not seen these before, what I do is I have a prayer method I learned many, many years ago. I add my own abilities at times to see what comes through, but there is a formula. And if you listen very closely, you'll hear the formula come out. And I have different ways of moving into it, but it's there. So, okay, here we go. What do you know? Karen Lee has signed on as well. I must have subconsciously seen that, even though I knew I was going back to Karen's. Okay, this is for Karen. I know there is one power and there's one essence, and I also know that your connection to that power is there. But I find when I look at the power linkage that sometimes the power linkage is not exactly as it could be. And consequently, this is what you call your inner spark. It's like it becomes an inner dim, it doesn't come bright. And that is because of the total acceptance of how loved you are. Knowing that you are loved, knowing that no matter what, this, what I call the universal love force, is always there. I mean, it is there within. In fact, I was just thinking about this today, about how I'm so grateful of knowing that this force is within me. Because when I get up in my head, it's like, yeah, but it's more of an intellectual knowing, right? A feeling knowing. And I feel that knowing that and feeling that love within your, for me, it's around the solar plexus area, and sure, it grows through the whole body, but it's like I always know it's there, and I can bounce down to it. I don't bounce down to it. I just move into that, and then I just expand it to fill the whole of me. So let us go back, Karen, to the inner spark of you. I think that it's like a furnace where you have, it has a little flame in the gas furnaces. And sometimes I know over the years we used to have to relight that flame. And I think that that needs relighting. And you need to remember that it is fueled by universal love. It is fueled by you being aware of your potential and that the lovingness is there for you. No matter what you think, no matter what you do, no matter where you go, it is there for you, and it is there to create. And in that, the spark of you, which is there, it's like you're a little afraid of it. You're afraid of what that will be, how that will look. But I feel that when you become more aware of the trusting of yourself and the awareness of yourself, that is going to dissipate. It just won't be there. It'll be, here I am, world. This is what I want. And then things begin to happen in a very, very different way, so that you feel strong, you feel alive. It's the aliveness I find very often that's missing for people. And I feel here is that when that inner spark grows, is that you radiate. And when you radiate, other things are attracted to that because it has energy, it has love, it has an understanding. And then when you couple that with what it is that you want to create, things begin to flow very, very, very easily. So I know that within that power that you just need to relax and allow the love to come in and connect it. That's the key, is that the love needs to come inside. Gosh, it's funny. I was thinking a lot about this afternoon, by allowing the love to come inside. And so many people just don't allow it. And it's very important to know that to allow it in, to bring it in, to feel comfortable with it. And I give thanks in knowing that Karen can do this, because it's there. It just needs to be trusted. It just needs to be let go. It's like the tension just needs to relax, so that you can radiate the essence of who you are and be who you are in strength and purpose and in love. I give thanks for the knowing. I give thanks in knowing that this is who and what you are, really, this beautiful star, this beautiful energy, this beautiful awareness. I give thanks as I release this thought, knowing it's true, that Karen has inner spark is totally working really, really, really well. And I say, as I complete that, by saying, and so it is. Amen. Okay. Thanks, Karen. Trust that fits. She says, thanks. So helpful. Great insight. And as always, very accurate to what is going on with me. Thank goodness someone is there to say, well, thank you for that accuracy. That's what I like, is the tuning in and the knowingness sometimes. Now, I have quite a list here of people who have emailed me or have talked to, and they say yes. So we're going to start with Miss A. Miss A is somebody I really care about and has not been well the last while. And I have actually done these prayers for her for a short time now. So, knowing that the power of love is in all things, knowing there is this one power that unites us all, I can speak my word for Anne, Miss Annie, because we are all together and we all are one. I give thanks in knowing that the healing continues. It is like the breathing out of the dark, breathing out of the fear, breathing out of rejection, breathing out of all things that block the I'm trying even trouble pronouncing the word. I try to not show that I have a problem with words with the long pronunciations, but I do. But it's like letting go of those things that restrict and knowing that your house has been great. I'll say just how great you are. Phenomenal. And allowing that in a very real, absolute way. It's the breathing in of the love, it's the breathing out of all the fear and the criticism and the domination and all those things that have gone on to block you from being all that you can be. You know your worth, you know your value, you know all so many things. And it's just relaxing and allowing the light to come in and soothe the soul. And in soothing the soul, you'll be able to breathe easily and completely with freedom. And I give in thanks and knowing that is in soothing the soul that the breath, the breathing will continue to bring you into a whole different enlightenment. I feel a whole different awareness of you and your purpose and your being at one with all there is. So I give thanks in the knowing. I give thanks that you can accept that and be at one with that and know that all is well. And so it is. Okay. Now, next person I'm going to say is a Mr. J. And as I move into the vibration of Mr. J, I know the one power of love is strong within him. It is strong because he is very clear in his mind of what he wants and how he wants things to be. And yet there are times because of other situations that are going on that he loses a little bit of balance and awareness. So this prayer, this statement, this awareness for Mr. J is to stay balanced and aware in strength and enlightenment and the awareness part is so important. It's just acceptance with love, with light, and knowing that all is well. So that balancing and awareness comes together to give strength, purpose, and awareness. Awareness is your word, I would say. It's just being aware, but aware in your body, aware in not just in your head, but in your body, and allowing life to unfold in front of you because it's bringing so many things to you, so much awareness, so much place. I give thanks in the knowingness that just by staying balanced and aware, it's as though everything relaxes and becomes more. And I just want to say that your generosity, etc., that goes on there is that it just, I don't know, becomes more awareness, more information, more things coming into you so that everything gets not only balanced, but it's like opening up Pandora's, no, not Pandora's box. It's the one that had, what's the one guy in the cave that had all the jewels. I feel there's lots of things waiting for you. Anyway, James, as more as you become aware, you'll find there's gems, absolute gems. I just feel it's just so wonderful. Yes, I give thanks in knowing this for you. I give thanks in the feeling that you bring that I know is for others to be able to benefit by really recognizing how being balanced and aware aids and helps you in wherever it is that you're heading and the direction of where you're going. And so it is. Amen. Okay. Now, as I breathe out the old and move into the next vibration, I'm just checking. There's nothing new coming in on the chat line. And this is for Miss G. Now, sometimes life comes along and we have a lot of obstacles to face. And sometimes we think we've covered them all. We've gone over all the hurdles. And just when we think that, something else comes along. And the journey or the road to healing the physical is often also mental, emotional as well. So as I connect in through this great universal love force that binds us all together and is in everything, and as I concentrate on that part that represents Miss G and this beautiful element, it's like a beautiful indigo light is there. And the continued healing that is required and requested and awareness of being is, it's like a light of enlightenment. It's like a light of awareness. Awareness is that word again, coming into a place that brings about, and it's a funny word for me to say, but brings about a salvation. It's as though there have been many lifetimes, because I can see them coming in two different directions, that have joined together in this lifetime. And this healing that is going through and will continue to grow and to be is an accumulation, an accumulation of many lifetimes. And now these two life streams are coming together and they are resolving many things. It's like, you hear people sometimes talk about burning off karma. I just feel that it's not so much like karma, but it's like the merging of the essence of you. It's like the completion of cycles that you've been on and creating separately, two separate patterns, but they're coming together. And when coming together, there's been a little crashing and bashing, you might say. And it's about acceptance of the knowing, and then this indigo light that I see. It's like white in the center moving into an indigo. It's like it's peacefulness, the fight of lifetimes. And I still keep seeing these two things coming together. The fight of the lifetimes. It's like this is completion. This is the consistency of doing and being, and peacefulness and acceptance of your majesty, we'll say, the the wonderful connection to light, to brilliance. And as I know personally, this person exude this anyway. But it's like the healing of you continues on such a deep soul level, because this is a combination of many, as I said, two things coming together here, many aspects you're putting together, balancing out, allowing. So it's it's not exactly breathing it in and out, but it's being it. It's nurturing the essence of who you are, the recognition of how come you like doing different things and being different things. And sometimes there's other elements of these other lives that maybe like, what is that? You want to be a certain way. And it's like, yeah, there's more. It's about embracing it all as you continue integrating. So it's about integrating the essence of who you are, the real essence, the soul essence, the being essence. And in this, knowing that this connection keeps continuing, I give thanks. I give thanks in the knowing of this. I give thanks and knowing that there is freedom and there is enlightenment, and there is a relaxing of the beingness of you. And most people don't understand what I talk about when I say being, but that's what I look for, because that's what we originally as souls came in with, according to me, is the beingness of who we are, and allowing that beingness to move beyond all other things. And as you integrate, as you become, as you experience, man, it's beautiful. And I want to thank you. I want to say thank you for being open to allow yourself to integrate two paths into one and radiate the essence of you. I know that there is love and light in you. I know that there is a joyousness of being integrated in such a way that you become, all I can play is more as you become more. And I give thanks. I give thanks in knowing, and I give thanks in the healing. I give thanks in all that there is. And so I release this by saying, and so it is. Amen. Oh, okay. So Karen Lee has got one up here. Hang on a minute. Got to cough again. Thank you. I don't know why Monday nights I do more coughing than anything else. It says, thanks for the previous treatments for my sleeping issues. They have gotten better for the most part. Yeah. Would appreciate a treatment to help me move forward without the guilt of putting myself first. Interesting. Karen Lee from, yeah, guilt. One of those, it's one of those, excuse me again. I thought I had this all taken care of before I started. I had a thought actually that sometimes I do this. This happens when there's a little bit more resistance to the concepts I'm saying. So who knows? Okay, Karen Lee. Oh, I'm so happy to see you back on the chat line. I know there is one power and there is one essence, and I know that power and essence binds us all together. And in that binding us together, I'm able to speak my word for Karen Lee. And as I speak my word for Karen Lee, I know the guilt of allowing yourself to be happy, allowing yourself to love, allowing yourself to be all that you can be, which may be considered putting yourself first, but actually it is claiming the essence of who you are. It's claiming, because when you claim yourself and you know who you are, you have more to give to others. You are more compassionate, you're more aware, you're more able to recognize what you can do. Because if you're always playing little, if you're always playing small, you don't get to see that. You don't get to see what you can do for others. You don't get to see how you can help or how you can play, because you're playing small in the arena. Because sometimes there are things we can do for others, but we have to also know what we want and how we want that to be. And when we wanting and what we want and how we want is not being selfish, which often people say, oh, there she goes again, being selfish. No, it's not at all. You're taking care of you, because when you take care of you, you really can take care of others. But if you're always putting yourself last for somebody else or something else that you really don't want to do, or you just, want some quiet time and everybody else doesn't want to, want you to be doing, or you feel guilty if you're not doing this, that, or the other for somebody else, what happens is you become small. And when you become small, other people do not respect, they do not appreciate, and probably they don't really love you. But when you can stand tall, when you can stand in your power, gently and easily, knowing that we're all connected, but it's important for you, and I see you as a star up in the sky, a star, shining bright. And if you are not shining bright, you're not in your power. And if you're not in your power, you're not true. You're not authentic. You're not being the essence of who you are. So when you become your own star, there is a power that comes that is not a power over. Let me explain. There's three types of power. Power over the bully, dictator, got to tell you how it is. Power under the victim, poor me, can't do it right. Or power with. Power with is the state that we work to be, because we want to be in a power with situation. So when you claim and you are able to be the power that you are, you shine on your own light. You make your decisions of how you want to do things. Yes, you want to help here. Sometimes we do, they're more important, and sometimes you can't be everything to everybody. And when you're used to having, well, I should say, when other people are used to having you be there for everybody, then sometimes they lay guilt trips. Well, how come you're not doing this? How come you're not doing that? The reality is, it's up to you to decide what you want to do. Your life is your life, your beingness. But what I love here is that if you could see the beautiful star that I see surrounded by the cosmos, we'll say, is that when you shine bright, you'll know, accept what it is, and accept that you have a right to say no. There are some things you can't do. You've got preferences, because if you can't claim that for yourself, then you're playing a victim. And if you're playing a victim, there's no power. And if there's no power, then other people don't, they usually ride roughshod. Is that the word? Yeah, roughshod over you. I give thanks in knowing that Karen Lee is strong, in the knowingness that through the lovingness of the universe, that all things are for her. That when she is looking after her, she can look after others, because it's on her timetable, her essence, and her awareness. I give thanks in knowing her strength, her love, her light, and all those things. And as I release this thought, knowing it is true, I just see her being this beautiful, wonderful, powerful, gentle, loving star. And so it is. Amen. Another breath. Go back to my sheet here. This is for a friend of mine, and I'm going to call Miss R, who is elder in years than me, and has had to make a huge adjustment in her life in the last few years. And I was speaking with her, and I wanted to do this for her tonight. Now, I know, not only through the love I have for this person, but also knowing that we are bound together in the one universal love force that binds us, that we can, tune in, understand, be at one, send love, that I know that Miss R will have the physical energy to adapt and have an easily adjustment to her new move. That there is an opening, there is a newness, yes, but the physical energy that is required, never mind the emotional and mental energy, is that the physical energy is the main thing, that the physical energy is there so that the adjustments that she's having in her new move, new world, new awareness is easy. And it's just a matter, I feel here, of taking it one step at a time. See, when our mind gets full of all the things that need to be done, which is why I make lists often, when the mind gets full trying to carry it all, what happens is it tires us out. It tires us into the physicality of us. And so what I see here, it's very important to take one thing at a time and do it. And know there's lots of time. Not to feel rushed, not to feel pushed, but go step by step and allow the adjustments and the getting used to the newness of where she now will be is done with easy. But mostly I know, because we've talked, physical energy comes from not having the mental carrying too much. and realizing there's lots of time. Time is man-made in lots of ways, and I'm sure most people realize that. Sometimes a second can be a long time, and sometimes a second can be so quick it's not even funny. And yet, in the clock, if it was taking the time, it all looks the same, but it isn't. And so it's a matter of adjusting to that and realizing that time is on your side. Time is there for you. I used to say, in fact, one of my sayings for a long time is time is my friend, because I had a lot of things I had to do that were time oriented. And I used to just say, time is my friend. And I used to just go one step at a time, not worrying about where the time was, knowing that it would all get done. And guess what? It did. So I just want for Miss to really recognize that, just let go the worry, the concern, and just go one step at a time. So how it works. Thank you. And as I release this, I know that it's true by saying thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Amen. And Karen Lee has just put up a new comment saying thanks so much. I have been finally putting myself first lately, and it has cost me some relationships. Oh, of course. I appreciate all that you do for everyone. This is what happens because they're not real relationships, because they're not caring about you. They're just caring about what you could do for them. And that's not the relationships that you need to have. You want people who support you and care for you. But when you are over generous, people will take advantage. And then you're not in that powerful star place, are you? Okay, we're moving on. Now, this was an interesting email that came into me from a grandmother regarding her 4-year-old grandson. And I'm going to call him Mr. H, because his first name begins with an H. 4 years old. 4 years old, and he is frightened of pooping in the toilet because the monsters live in there. He is starting school, and he is not going. So I have to tune in and find out what we can do for that. I just can't imagine. I just can't imagine the fear you would have of that. But I'll soon find out, I guess, because that's where we're heading right now. Got a little fly flying around. I know there's one power, and no matter what our age, that power is available to us because it is in every cell in our bodies. And so for young Mr. H, I am going to call forth the power that he has in his cells of the connection of love to the larger picture. And as I call forth that love, I know that the fear of the monsters in the toilet will dissipate. That he'll begin to realize that he's the vanquisher. He can vanquish the monsters. It's like raising the old memory of being a knight and being out in the field of battle. And literally, I can see him vanish with his sword, an incredible knight. And it feels actually a French knight, not a British knight, but he's vanquishing. And I feel that energy needs to now be released within him so he can let go the fear of the monsters. He can let go the fear of being in an open space, because that's what the toilet represents to a little kid. There is this space, and then they don't often feel in control of that. So it's about allowing that to go and allowing himself to realize he is bigger than that, bigger than the monsters, that he has the ability to slay the monster, to allow the monster to disappear, to allow the element of being able to let go instead of holding on. It's the fear that has the holding on that makes it difficult he said it hurts to poop. And so it's like, how do we let go? How do we release? How do we breathe out, knowing that there are no monsters, even though a little kid of 4 can easily see that as all the monsters. And I think it's because he's had He's had to slay a lot of monsters in his other lives. I'm just seeing one life where he's a very, very powerful knight slaying what you could consider is the monsters. But it's like allowing that energy to come into him to give him strength and purpose and awareness that as he's growing, he's got his own power and he doesn't have to be afraid. He doesn't have to be fearful because, as we know, if we're very afraid, that whole muscle that lets go so that pooping is easy can really tighten up. When we get nervous, when we get frightened, very often that happens. And it's like letting him know, and is the essence. So I'm just breathing in this beautiful, kind of a pink, fluffy light. Sounds funny for a boy, but that's what I'm doing. So that he can relax. And also, I want to have him remember that he's strong, even though he's only 4, and he can. It's like vanquishing and the monsters. It's like he can beat them. He's in power. He's in control, and he's maybe 4 going on 6. So we just need him to be more relaxed, more aware, and feel very comfortable. And I give thanks in knowing. I give thanks in knowing that for him. I give thanks in knowing that he is strong and he has an awareness of who he really is, which is a strong person that the monsters cannot touch ever, 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 because he can vanquish them. I give thanks in this. I give thanks in knowing that he will be relaxed and be able to poop in the toilet. And I get this thought going, knowing it's true. And so it is. Amen. Who knows what we have, eh? Wow. Oh, we have another Mr. here, Mr. C. Again, someone I know who has been struck once just recently with a COVID virus or a part of that COVID. What do they call them? The things that are coming up now. A strain, I guess. There's different strains because COVID's pretty well worked its way through the society. So as I tune into Mr. C, I really don't feel very good. So I'm just going to make sure I don't get too far in there. But it's like I just really, really feel like there's a lot of fear here too. There's a lot of fear again of what's coming up, and the thought that comes to me mostly is, can I do it? Now, we know the symptoms can be varied and changed of what's going on, that there's a lot of different varieties out there of flus, of whether you call it COVID or some other thing that's going on. But when you have a fear inside about, can I do it? What it does is it attracts and it enhances that whole disconnect within the system. So the system begins to feel fearful and unsure. Now, I know that in the strength is the allowingness, this one comes down to having faith in miracles, having faith in the miracles that can occur. See, most of us think we have to do it. We have to create it. And so it gives pressure. And when we give pressure, it just shuts down our own immune system a bit. And so we can have things come in. I mean, I get sick at times too because I don't pay attention to myself as well as I should do. But what I get here from Mr. C is that there is an underlying fear of, can I do it? Now, can I do what? Oh, well, I don't know. It could be lots of things. But can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do that? Can I do the other? How I'm going to do it is kind of not really in the picture. It's how. It's, can I? Well, that makes a big question mark rather than, how do I do that? How do I create? How do I make that work and happen? And so what I see here is that I want to create a faith bubble. of faith in self. And it's like going into the solar plexus area and igniting it, and not only into the power of the love of the universe, but into the power of himself, that he's powerful. He knows it intellectually, but he hasn't felt it emotionally. He knows how it can be, but it hasn't moved into his physical body yet. Can I do this? Can I do it? I'm going to put a thought form in there that yes, you can do it. But it needs to be more relaxed, and it needs to be not so reactive to the environments that he puts himself in, one way or the other. And it's just a matter of recognizing that whatever is going on with the symptoms now can just move through his body really fast. No matter what anybody says, they can move through the body fast. And it was a matter of knowing I can, we'll just move the words around. I can do it. Not can I do it, question mark. I can do it. Whatever it is, I can do it. You see, we would not be presented with something if we really couldn't do it. Think about that. We have something that comes up in our lives. It's there for a reason. What is it you need to do with it? How can I do this? Because you'll be given the answers. There's loads of answers. But when you think, can I do it? Question mark. This is several times tonight. We've seen people get small rather than bigger. I love the way the themes work. Week by week, different themes. But I just want from his, because I really care about this particular person, Mr. C, because he has not been well, to allow all of this to depart as he moves into faith and trust of the universe looking after him. We don't always have to do it all. We just have to be clear and allow the universe to guide us and be with us so that it takes the pressure off. Knowing that you're loved beyond measure, and that the universe wants you to have what you want with ease and grace, which means easy, helps. But we're taught that we have to do it. We have to figure it out. We have to sort it out. And it's learning how to ask. There's a Bible quote, ask and you shall receive. Very important. But how do we ask? I find that very often we're not taught how to ask, but maybe that's a good little workshop to do one day. How to ask. I'm just making a note. Sometimes these things come up. In the meantime, I give thanks and knowing that for Mr. C, there is a releasing and letting go and an allowing of the self to expand to the point that he knows, no matter what, he can do it. Whatever he sets his mind to. That he sets his mind, he can do it. And it's already done. And I say thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Amen. Just a couple of messages coming in. A nice from Laurie. I love your teachings, Norma. Thank you. They all resonate. Well, hopefully. Laurie Brady. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. And Charlie, hello. How are you? Well, is it Charlie? No, it's Shaylee. Sorry. It's very small print and it's hard with my glasses. Thank you. Appreciate the comments. And the final one I have written down here. So if you have something, your last ones, or Terry too. Hi, ma'am. Thank you. From Miss K. Again, another good friend. What I wrote down here after reading the request was to remain in the best of health as Miss K moves forward in life. I know of this one power and this one essence that's all things, and I know that Miss K also knows this power. And it's about allowing it to fully lock in to the cells of the body, to be at one with all that there is, to let go of fear, to let go of hesitation and to remain in this best health of love and light, as we call it, as the moving forward. Now, I find it difficult to look up. When I find it difficult to look up, it usually means that the vibration I'm in is not seeing far enough ahead, or is not seeing in a way that could create easier. So I'm just looking now to see what do I need to clear, and it's about allowingness, to allow self to be flowing with life. It's kind of like being in a swimming pool. I can look up now, notice. It's like being in a swimming pool doing breaststroke through one end to the other. And so it's like, oh, here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. And so, consequently, what happens here is the realization that sometimes when we're in a pool, it feels like we're never going to get to the other end. At least that would be me. I would be, oh, no. But it's like in life, we feel like we're never going to get through all this. We're never going to get to the end. And once we think that, that thought goes out, we're not going to get there. So here we have all these different health issues that come up, but we just got to know, we just move through them gently, because the universe has always got your back, but you have to relax in it, and you got to just keep doing the breaststroke to get you to where you want to go. So I know that Miss K has all the support that is required to move forward and remain in the best of health possible, getting better and better and stronger and stronger and stronger. Stronger in the direction that you want to go. And know that everything is all right and will be. I give thanks in knowing of this, and for this I say thank you, thank you, thank you, and so it is. Amen. Now, I'm going to go back to here, and Shaylee, whose name I said wrong in the first place. Could you possibly please tell me why never goes? Oh, no, I can't. I'm not doing those kind of readings here. I can tell. I can look at it a different way. That is what I would do if I was doing a private psychic reading for you. But these are not psychic readings. These are prayers. These are ways in which we can do a prayer concept where I can allow my psychic to go in. So, and she's saying, okay, I apologize. No, you don't need to apologize. I'm just explaining that what we can do, what I can do, because I'm not quite, we've still got a little bit of time, to find, I might be able to figure out how I can't tell you why that person did it, but I can tell you maybe, but let me pray, because, I take it beyond me, and we'll see what comes out. I usually like your age, so I know what, can you just type in your age, please? Jamie, can you just type your age in? Because I find that gives me a sense of coming into you. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Okay. I know there is one power and one essence, and I know as I speak my word for, I hope I'm saying this right, for Shaylee, that the world when I see the world around it just looks a little gray, a little dim, a little dark. And I know that when one is aware that there is a universal love energy that supports you, that you are able to shine brighter, so that the dimness or the darkness, and whether people stop talking to you, whether people are not there, whether they're not talking anymore, and because it does happen sometimes, that you yourself feel strong in the sense of who you are. I feel that your own self-image needs to grow in such a way that you feel empowered by your own beingness, what I call beingness, the essence of who you are, that you can move through your life clearing away the grayness, the darkness, and come more into a light of being, that the strength that you actually have, and know, the knowledge that you have inside can come forth more. It is really important that you take care of yourself and look after yourself without knowing or even worrying what other people are thinking or saying or doing. What they're doing is their business. You need to be more in command, from my perspective, of yours, because then I got more room. I've got light. I have room to move in. I can look up again, which means I can now plan for the future. I can plan for the beingness of everything. And so I'm very thankful for your awareness, that to move your energy awareness back to you and what you're wanting, and not about this one doing that or the other one doing this. It's about you claiming you and your awareness of direction and purpose and light into where and how that goes. And knowing that, I know that you are strong. You just need to discover it. I know that your life can move in a whole lot of different directions that you could choose by letting go, sort of what I see as the gray and the dark, and claim you. Claiming self is very, very important, because the more you claim yourself, the more you begin to be in command of your life. So I give thanks of knowing this as I send this to you, and knowing that you have the ability to move beyond all the things that make you feel not as good as you would like to feel, and that you can move into so much more in the direction of where you're happening and where you're going. I give thanks for you. I give thanks for everybody that's been on this tonight. I give everybody that made contact with me, and we move through. I know that there is one power. I know that this power exists. I've had to use it for years. I know that clarity will come no matter what is happening. I know that there is just a sense of being. And Charlie, I appreciate what you said. I love myself. I've been so strong. It's just at times it gets quite exhausting. Yeah, but that's because you're trying to run on your own energy and not the universal energy. But think about that. There is light. There is love. Allow the love to come in for yourself to enhance and strengthen you. And that's really loving yourself from a different way, actually. But thank you so much for being here tonight. Every Monday night at 7, I begin, and we go until we're completed, which is now. And I want to wish everybody a most wonderful week. I will be back on Wednesday with my Norma talks, which, as you know, is a much longer talk, of course, on something. And then Sunday, I thought, is a smaller, little shorter version of whatever I'm talking about. I give you thanks. I like your emails. I like whatever. Remember, you can always contact me through the website, normacowie.com. Thank you for your subscriptions. Thank you for listening, watching, and being here. You are incredible. Remember that. Love you. Lots of love. Bye now.